and then we'll kick off. So the recording has started. So welcome to the kickoff for GameChanger Girls Experience, GameChanger Girls and Allies. I must keep remembering to say that. And there's a very good reason for the and allies, because we, while we want to support girls in STEM, we don't want children to have to put labels on themselves. And so this is for girls, people who want to support girls. You know, and we've had a number of boys join who are supporting the girls program, and children who identify as girls or bi or yeah. So keeping it open, we don't want kids to have to put labels on themselves. So it's girls and allies. But we do want to focus on making a different STEM experience that encourages our female friends to think about STEM as a possible career. And that's a really important aspect of what this is all about. So I'm just going to use some slides, and you won't see these if you're driving, but it is recorded so you can have a look later. I'm just going to jump across to my screen and bring up my slides. So are you seeing my slides now? Can someone give me a yes in voice if you are able to, that you can see the slides? Okay, yes. Matt's waving. Okay, great, cool. So GameChanger Girls is a number of programs. So GameChanger Girls is my program where the girls design the esports games. And we support in Australia a second program, Girls Who Game, which is a Dell-sponsored program where the girls design challenges. So I'm going to go through what those are both about, but we're putting it all under the GameChanger Girls banner because it's about changing the perspective for girls on STEM and on game design, and thinking about careers that they may not have considered before engaging in this program. So moving on. Sorry, I just need to get this. It's not moving my slides. Okay. Okay, so the two programs, and we roughly describe it as Girls Who Game being years 5 and 6 or a younger component, but that's not hard and fast. It could be 5, 6, 7, could be 5, 6, 7, 8, could include some 4s. It really is up to the school and what the school feels it has capacity for. So in Girls Who Game, which is the Dell-sponsored program, the students are invited to design a challenge in Minecraft, and then go into a competition for that. Now, our competition dates don't match up that well with the Canadian, and Dell. This program is run out of Canada. So we run our own competition here in Australia, and we include students who want to, like our school did, enter into the global competition. So you can compete on 2 levels. And that's designed to something, a challenge designed around one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. And I have a little hint that the newest one coming up, about to be released in the next couple of weeks, has to do with responsible AI. So that's a really exciting challenge, I think, that students will embrace. Now, GameChanger Girls is traditionally a little more senior, but there's no reason 4s and 5s can't enter and do very well in the program, and in the past they have. But it's focused on competing and designing in esports games. So it's getting to design a game that other girls will come and play, voting on the games, and then choosing the best, and that becomes our tournament game for that round. Last year we started with design. This year we're going to start with a tournament, because we have some games hung over from last year that we didn't get a chance to host our tournament for, and we're going to host that coming up in March. So the two programs kind of mesh really nicely together. Schools can choose to do one or the other or both. Or you might do Girls Who Game in the first semester of the year and move into GameChanger Girls in the second semester. You might have teams in both all at once. And a team can be anything from, I recommend 4 students and up, and you can have multiple teams within a game design club. So lots of options there on what constitutes a team. So the cycle is really something along these lines, that we design games, and the core tool in our program is Minecraft. So both GameChanger Girls and Girls Who Game, the core tool is Minecraft, but it doesn't have to be. So if your girls are designing with something else, Fortnite Creative, Roblox, another game design tool, they could just as well enter our competitions. So, but we start with Minecraft education because that's a tool we know everyone has reasonable access to, and the kids can reasonably play multiplayer in a safe environment. So we want to support safe play and good well-being for students. So traditionally we start with design, but teams can come in at any time during that. We hope to offer some mentor support this year. Last year we had design sessions where we got our friend from Victoria, Stephen Elford, who's a technical whiz with Minecraft, to help solve some technical problems the girls were having with their designs. And so he ran some masterclasses on how to get interaction working in your game. So for instance, our girls who designed the game Killer Cows had a maze where you enter the maze, 2 teams, and you've got to make it to the end. But en route, you're going to encounter cows that will kill you. Now, cows in Minecraft are not killer items. They're benign. But in their game, they wanted the cows to be killers. So they had to work out how to change the properties of a mob. And so that was a really interesting, there were a couple of ways to do it. Stephen didn't show them the answer or give them the answer. He pointed them in the direction of what they could do to solve the problem. And they thought that was too complicated and went off and solved it their own way. So that was even better. When the games are ready, we get everyone to play test games, play test them in your environment, and then share them. And we have, before that, students produce a video to demonstrate their game, sell your game. It's the promo video that you might see for a movie. We want you to get everyone excited about how to play your game. Now, for Girls Who Game, you don't actually submit your game. You submit the video walkthrough of your game. And so, because they don't have the capacity to deal with all the games. So it's only the video that they submit. But it's very important that you learn to create a great walkthrough video. And I know our school worked very hard on theirs last year to get their second place in the People's Choice Awards. And that was our very first Australian entry. So that was very exciting. So when all the games have been uploaded, everyone's had a chance to play them, the students vote. Students and teachers vote on the games, and we look at which was the best designed, which was the most visual, had the best visual design, and which was the most tournament worthy. And so that's looking at which is a good esports game. And when that's selected, then we host the tournament around that. And sometimes that's a time trial, sometimes that's an online battle. And I have accounts that will allow us to do that across tenancies with Minecraft. So it's the kids' view of what a good game looks like, a good competitive game. And part of what we've had to help the students to understand is not all games make a good esports game. So they need to work a little bit on that and working out how teams or individuals compete in that game to make it a great esports game. Host a tournament, and then we move back in to a design cycle again. Are there any questions about that? So really, you can enter at any point. So people might be thinking about this now and want to start down the track. You might miss the first tournament, but you can jump straight into game design. If you start game design late, you can hold that over until the second season, because I'm trying this year to host 2 seasons in the year, 2 sets of tournaments, 2 sets of design cycles. Okay, the key tools are Flip and Minecraft. And in terms of Flip, it's vital for our program that the students have access. Now, to cautionary tale here, I have set this up so students do not, I'll repeat that, do not need accounts in Flip. They will be given, you will register them because you'll be given co-host rights in the GameChanger Girls Flip. And then you register your students using just their first name and their school initials. That's all the data we collect about these students. So I don't want to be, and I don't want you to be responsible for worrying about the student's identity online. All we know about them is who's responsible for them, what teacher, and what's the initials for their school and their first name, or nickname if they have a nickname they would prefer to use, or a game name they'd prefer to use, totally fine. But we do not need the students to have accounts. And this has been great for us because, say, in New South Wales Department of Education, the students are not allowed to have Flipgrid accounts. But they can get through to our Flip because they don't have an account. We haven't collected data about them. They're just given a username that gives them access. It's a little complicated, and I will send out the registration on how to do that in my next email. And then Minecraft Education, because that's the core tool we support for design. This year, I'd like to be really pushing the students to do a little more using commands and coding, as opposed to just building games, because you can build a great parkour game or others that just involve the build affordances of Minecraft. But I'd like to see some more work done on coding and using the command blocks that are available and the ways to use command blocks in Minecraft. So pushing that up a little bit into the technical a bit more this year. So we'll have more support for that. So these are the only 2 tools. I used to have a team space for teachers, but everybody's in so many teams now, you don't need it. And really what we want is for you to be the facilitator of this, for the kids to run it. So if they're in Flipgrid, in Flip, they'll have access to all the information they need. So if I show you, so in our Flip, the first thing we ask them to do is, okay, play some games. Get in and play some games that are recommended. And we have a few here, prepare by playing. So we recommend a bunch of games. Those first ones are, the first 2 are Minecraft emulations of well-known games, Bed Wars and Capture the Flag. But then we have Good Game, which is designed by Clever Like Studios for Minecraft, which is about good behaviour in online gaming. And it's a really good game for kids to get in and play as part of the first steps in their club. And then, which doesn't show because there's a screenshot in the show more, are some exemplar student games. And we don't preclude the kids from building PvP, player versus player, or any kind of battle game. It's really up to them and you, what you think is quality for them to work on. We get a lot of mazes built and some kind of battle happening around that maze. And that's all well and good, whatever girls feel they want to design. But we want them to play a few games first, get some ideas about what they like and dislike, and then make sure they build better quality into their games. Now, I have a 10-point list of things that I will share with you again in my next email, which will just point out some of the ways you can support the students to do better. As I've already said, one of the key things was not every game makes a great competitive game, esports game. So they need to look at how people will compete. Students very often forget, because they're so intimate with the game they've designed, the instructions for how to play it. And so need to incorporate that in the beginning of their game or wherever they want it to occur, but to do it well, do it effectively. So there's some hints and tips there from things you can scaffold with the students. So Flip is vital. They can get in there, they can chat, they can see other girls' games, other conversations. One of the first tasks we ask them to do, and we give them the instructions, is build a team skin in Minecraft. And so we give them the instructions on how they can do it and then bring them in and share them. So what's your team skin look like? And give your team a name. We have, Bean Battle Duo and I'm trying to think, Castle Country Kids, loads of cool, fun names from the girls. But that's part of being a team, is putting your name to it and building a skin that will be worn by your team as players. So Flip, really important. And then Minecraft education. And I support the teachers with probably about a fortnight, once a month email with links in it and anything that's really important. I try to keep that to a bare minimum because we all know how much email everyone's living with. Any questions on Flip? So I'll send you the instructions. You must have an educator account in Flip yourself, with whatever's your proprietary email, your school email account. And then if you're using different to what you've registered in this program, then you'll need to send me that so I can add you, because you have to have an educator account. I then make you a co-pilot in the program, and then you can register your students in the space.
I've got a question, Ron.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing this with both of my schools. So I've got Newlands Intermediate and Wellington Girls College. So can you set me up so I can manage both of those, or do I have to do two separate things?
No. It'll just be you registered, and then you just put different initials on the end of their first names.
Yep. Okay,
that's the only school identifier we have, is the school's initials. Yep. I'm sorry if that dog barking is driving you mental, but that's my puppy I was discussing earlier, who has decided she has to compete with the storm at the moment. So I'll move around this way a bit, see if I can trap her away. No, you don't need to. You just need to put different initials on their names. And it's only first names. We don't collect family names. We don't know how old they are, anything else. So there's no possibility at, identity. And in terms of conversation in the space, I personally monitor all the conversation that happens in the space. And there isn't really a huge amount. Most of it happens at school in their design group, but I do monitor it all and would alert anyone if there was anything. But we haven't had anything untoward in 2.5 years of running this program. So yes, your kids will be safe, or as safe as we can make anybody online in this Flipgrid. And it's a closed Flip, so the only people in there are the teachers who've signed up for the program and their students. There's nobody else. There are no guests. There are no teachers who want to come and have a look. If they're not part of the program, they're not in the space. So this is a rough workup of the program. And by the way, I'll send the slides to everybody if you want them, because there are some links along the way. But this is the way it's looking. Now, this is malleable because I've got my trusty calendar here, and I've been working through all the states and systems and, the term starts and term ends across all of it, and just looking at what will work. So we have roughly 2 cycles. Our tournament week will start March 8, which is International Women's Day. Good time to start. And we'll release the games that are going to be used. People can get in and play them. I will have a doodle to share with everybody for you to tell me what's optimal time for your kids to join a live play. So if we can pick some dates and they work, as you can imagine, that's a little minefield of its own. But, we must be able to find some sweet spots at lunchtime or before school when kids could compete. We're only looking at getting them together for a half hour, get in, have a battle, and score. And we can do that on multiple days of the week with different teams. So I'll send out more about that as it moves, and you can see the different design cycles, and you'll get a copy of this in my next email. If any of those dates look difficult, let me know. Moving on. There are some interesting things come up this year. I know Nathan Richards has designed a game, and he'd love some students to test that game. Nathan Richards is a Minecraft ambassador in Queensland, working in Catholic education in Queensland, and also runs Digital Richards, which is his own company. And he has a little game, and he'd love students to have a test of it and give him some feedback. And I said, well, I'll put it out there for GameChanger Girls if they wanted to have a little batter through his game and then see what they thought. So that's an opportunity if kids want to take it up. We have been invited to submit an entry in the Game for Change, which is the big global Game for Change program in New York, in their Games for Change Student Challenge. This is the first year they've opened a Minecraft category and an international opportunity. So students can take the game they're building for Game Changers, and if they want to tweak it to make sure it has a UN sustainability focus, they can enter it into that program as well. And that would be really exciting. This is the first year of this, and it is open to students from age 10 to 18. And so if you've got older students not part of GameChanger Girls even, this is a good thing to know about, because you can be designing in Unity or Unreal Engine or other programs for this as well. So that's really great. It closes April 15, so that's really quite close. That's a fairly intense time to get something in. If your students had already developed a game in Minecraft, so people like Al and others who've been part of this program before, you might have a game you adapt to put into that competition. So, you know, maybe the girls can work on refining their game and making it part of that. So that's fabulous. And if you want to know more about that, ask me, because I've entered in to get us recognised in the competition. Also, we can join in the Fuse Cup build battle. Now, this is an opportunity I'm offering to anyone who signs up for GameChanger Girls who would like to to join that build challenge, and Game Changers will sponsor the teams. So there is a cost involved with that. The Games for Change Student Challenge, there is no cost, but the Fuse Cup 2032 Brisbane Olympic Game online build challenge does have a cost, a fee. And I have said that, you know, if any of you really would have a team that would love to put something in that, then let's talk about it and we'll sponsor you. So those are a couple of additional opportunities that teams can think about this year, as well as I'm talking to people about getting some esports mentors to do just some breakfast sessions with us to talk about what it's like to be a girl in esports or what it's like to be a girl in game design. So we've got a couple of those possibly lined up for later in term one. So why has that gone to the top slide? That's probably enough anyhow for today. I didn't want to, oh yes, I did jump one slide. So one of the other things we're looking at, and I don't think I handled it very well last year, is getting different kinds of kudos for the students. Oh, I should say, in that Games for Change competition, the kids don't have to design a game. They can design a character for a game, or do a writing piece, a narrative for a game. So there are a number of different ways to engage. So that's kind of exciting, even if you don't want to take a whole game. Maybe the kids could put the narrative for their game into that competition, or design the key character. And it doesn't have to be a Minecraft character. It could be a character that could live in any game. And then the other thing we're trying to do is find different ways to give kudos to the girls. So girls, we've had a few stellar people in our community space who've, really supported others, been quick to jump in and test play other people's games and give feedback. So we want to acknowledge those, not just the designers of games. So we're hoping to have lots of different ways to engage in the game space.
I was wondering, Bron,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
The Game for Change sounds really good. In terms of like presenting, say students wanted to design a character, what would be the best way to submit or present like some sort of a video like they did with the previous comp?
Yeah, for Games for Change, I think there are a number of different formats. And I in the link that is in the PowerPoint, and I'll send you in the email, you can go in and explore that. And I think it's a really good option for kids because, maybe they want to design some of the visual content of the game or, create a fabulous narrative for a game, but they don't have the capacity right now to build, but, that can be acknowledged as well. And it does, for those, it doesn't have to be Minecraft related. So it can be, something that could live in any game. So our arty kids could be designing some amazing, anime characters or other kinds of characters that they would like to see in a game. The only thing I would like when people, if we're entering, is that we do acknowledge game changers in the program, and that this is a girls group, and that it's girls and allies entering as a team. But yeah, and I didn't meant to say at the top of this, I think you got some of these last year, Al.
No, we didn't actually get them.
What happened? I sent them.
Really? Because we didn't receive them.
I sent a whole box of them.
Really?
Yeah.
That's, I might have got, did you send with tracking?
Yeah, it was registered mail.
Really?
Yeah. But it was
right.
It was right on the end of the school year.
Oh, okay. I just went to the front office to check the post today. Normally they're pretty good, but I've had stuff lost with Australia Post in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if it got lost.
It didn't come back to me either. So, and I put sender details on it.
That's curious. Yeah, maybe see if you still got the details, search it up, and maybe it's, I don't know, some depot somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
that's
I did.
That's a bummer because there was one poor student who kept asking me for like every week.
No, I sent a whole box. I sent a whole box of them.
Oh, that's a nuisance.
Because you sent me your numbers and I sent yours, the two bigger boxes, yours and Marianne's to New Zealand. I sent them, towards the end of the school year. And when I didn't hear from you, I figured, oh, well, you got them. So.
Yeah, I should have let you know close at the end of the year. We didn't after the first comp, we didn't quite get our act together to enter the game design one, but really enjoyed the that first sustainability challenge.
Well, have you got a lot of have you got some girls returning from last year?
Yeah, we've got a big gang. So we've got a year 6 group on a Tuesday and a year 5 group on a Thursday, new ones. But a lot of them are like, they're using command blocks and making some pretty cool games. I posted one in there. It's a spleef game where, you sort of start on these levels with, I think it's zombies, and you have to like break the blocks, and you have to get the other players to fall down to the bottom, and it's like a lava at the bottom. But yeah, we had a blast playing that last lesson. So it's in the chat if anyone wanted to have a go with it. So yeah, they're already making things. I guess some of them are looking at tutorials and stuff, but I think we'll try and get the year 6s to enter the game changers.
Great. Well, if you send me your numbers, I'll have a look if I've got enough to send you for the girls that missed out last year. But I sent a whole box.
Yeah, that's tragic.
Yeah, and I sent them express post.
Terrible.
Anyway, I have one of these agents.
Cool.
plushies for each student in this year. So that's what you missed out on, Al, with the plushie like this for each girl.
Yeah.
So Minecraft has supplied them for me for our students. So hopefully I've got enough. So those girls who missed out last year, but that's really sad because you sent me your numbers and then I went straight to the post office and express posted them.
Can't trust the postie.
No, someone's got a whole box full of agents then.
Yeah.
I'll have a look and see if I kept it, but I don't know that I kept the postal thing. Anyway, you all get one. You all get some of these for your students because you'll need to send me your numbers so I know how many to send you. When you register for Girls Who Game, and they've fixed up this registration this year, so it will work. The girls will get T-shirts. They're designing a new T-shirt that includes the Australian flag because it had America and Canada only on it. And since they've expanded to Australia, they're going to get those. So you will have a separate registration if you want to go into that, but I'll send you all the details for that. The next email is going to be a bit of a chockers one, full of bits and bobs. And once you start thinking about which direction you want to go, how we can do that together. So are there any questions?
Maybe you mentioned one of those, I think I was there for part of one of the meetings, one of those guys, just when we might get a chance to get online with Stephen to get a few more sort of tips and stuff, or if there's any other resources to send, like tutorials and stuff the girls can have a look at leading up to that.
One of the other people who's I've been in contact for quite some time, but he's joined our Minecraft Mentor, ANZ Minecraft Mentor program, esports program, and that's Brian from Clever Like Studios, who does a lot of design for Minecraft, and he's raised his hand to be involved in doing some mentoring. So he's another person who could do some technical sessions for the girls. So it's much better if they've got a problem, we want to be able to do X, Y, Z. How do we go about it? And, for them to be able to describe the options they could use to get it happening. Because it's important that they do it for themselves rather than have someone supply the answer. But Brian's a professional game designer and he's really interested in supporting young people in getting into game design. So, yeah. Oh, now you'll be feeling really bad. You never got these. Well, tell your kids they won't miss out. If I have to go and get more from America, I will.
Thanks, appreciate that. Yeah, I literally had one student asking me like every time she saw me in the yard, and I said, "Look, I'm sorry, I don't know."
How can it have gone wrong? I don't know, but send me your numbers and I'll work it out.
Great.
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks, Brian. It'd be good to get the Aotearoa New Zealand flag in there as well as the Australian one. If we're going to have some Kiwi kids in. Although the Kiwis are used to being left off the map, so no dramas.
Well, the worst that can happen is we'll buy some New Zealand flag. Unknown caller. Some New Zealand flag patches, and the kids can sew them on the T-shirt. Because what happened was this program was in Canada. Then I think they've got went into the US. Then they've got a small group in Barbados. And then a small group of us here. And so they had huge stocks of T-shirts. And so, but they were looking at doing a new T-shirt run. If not, they said they'd send us transfers of the flags.
Well, we could just colour in the stars to make them look like the New Zealand flag.
Yeah, just get a Sharpie.
Well, or I can send all the kids a New Zealand iron-on transfer for the New Zealand flag.
Yeah, all right. But no sweat. I was just being facetious. Hey, I'm
That's right.
excited about this, Ron.
Hey?
This is going to be awesome.
I know it's going to be a lot of fun.
Is Marianne going to be in it this year as well?
Yep. She's running it as well with her group.
Oh, awesome.
I think she's hoping to do it in her student-directed learning program. So
I'll be doing
correct.
it with that as well. Yeah, so we can do it across the whole school. I think I've got a
Yeah.
bunch of kids there that are keen, and a bunch of girls from Wellington College as well. So
And
cool.
Rhiannon at Newlands has also done Girls Who Game as well. So getting her
Nice.
back this year would be good as well.
Yeah, Newlands will be rocking this year. All right, nice meeting you, peeps. Hi, Al. I'll see you at the next meeting.
See ya. And others, any questions?
Yeah, I was just wondering what the fees are, like what's the cost involved in joining and getting involved?
No, there are no fees. The only thing that has a cost, if you want to put a team into the Fuse Cup, then that has a cost because that's a commercial organisation. But no, Game Changers is my passion project and there's no cost.
That's wonderful. And so I heard that some people, and thank you very much for doing that and offering, setting all this up and sharing it with us. It's really exciting. Do you know of any schools that are integrating it with Stage for digital technologies, or is it usually, co-curricular, extracurricular, self-directed learning? How do schools implement the program? What are some of the best ways forward with it?
Many of the schools to date have been clubs, so extracurricular clubs in the school. And yeah, that has its limitations. I go into a school in Sydney once a week just to look at how that works. And that's a high school and lunch is 35 minutes. So you can imagine by the time the kids get in, get started, logged on, whatever, it's really 25 minutes of group design time and they have to do the rest outside of that. We do have a school in Tasmania that was doing it as part of an elective for secondary curriculum. And yeah, they kind of ran out of time towards the end of last year with their game. But yeah, it's starting to grow into the curriculum spaces. I know Janine Watt, who's not here with us today, who's doing this, is looking to make it also an elective in her digital technologies curriculum in high school. So yeah, we're starting to eke into the curriculum spaces.
Well, I'm going to have a crack at it in New Zealand for NCEA. So I'm teaching year 9, 10 and 12. I probably won't do it for the 12s, but computer science and programming. So I was actually going to try and just embed it in the normal curriculum and see how we go. I've got a few of the Wunderkind that have already put their hands up, but I'm hoping it kind of catches on and I can convert the whole class and just see how we go. But we'll see how we go.
Okay.
I've got to bail, guys. Awesome, Bron.
See you later.
Thanks nice meeting you, Al.
Bye, Matt.
You too, Matt.
See you next time. Adios.
Bye.
See ya.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah, I probably have one more question. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in front of anyone else. But how long should what's the time phase? How many weeks should we dedicate to this from start to finish?
If you can do the game design within 10 weeks, that's great. But if you don't, the way it works is if you don't fit it into the first competition cycle, you can put it into the second. So you can spend more time on it if you want. It's really up to the school how it works. My advice is the kids always try to design too much. Too big a game, too much detail, instead of keeping it clean and small and, quick. So getting them to hone down their game quite quickly expedites the program. So, but yeah, I would want to fit it inside 10 weeks or so for the design and then a few weeks for the competition. And we decide the best games purely on the student vote. So what the girls like is what becomes the competition game.
Yes, awesome. Thank you.
I'm not sure who LW is, but
Hello, Going. How are you?
good.
I'm Lana Weller from St. Dominic's Primary College from South Australia. Sorry, I'm running a bit late because I just rushed back from yard duty. It got given to me in the afternoon. So I only joined the last bit. I apologize for that part, and I was wondering, do you have a recording for me to revisit?
I do, Lana, and I'll send it out first thing tomorrow morning
Oh,
with
great,
it
thank
to
you.
everybody so you can catch up. No problem at all.
Yeah, I really want to come, but then unfortunately I'll have to stand in front of the school for the rest of
Yeah.
it.
We know.
Uh,
I was a primary school teacher, so I know what it's like. You never know
yeah,
what will happen at the end of the day. So no problem. It is recorded, and if you have any questions after that, you can message me back or email me, or if you want to.
real quick one. So my intention of coming to this webinar and get involved in this program is that our school is opening a new Year 9 subject called Unleashing Gaming and Programming, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting that one because I'm the I guess the most person for that job. And so I'm trying to get some ideas as in how I can incorporate your program into this, while obviously fitting with the Australian curriculum, but just make it really fun for the kids, because we want to boost the technology class number in stage. So in ESA we have this SACE, year 11, 12 courses, and we want to have more kids doing technologies, and that's why I thought it would be a good idea to have some really engaging and fun activities. Bit of a programming, obviously lots of games. Is this the right place to be? Is this something?
Absolutely, Lana, and maybe you and I can have a private conversation about how that might work. Because it's absolutely the right place to be. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much.
All right.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, the numbers are small, but I had a lot of apologies this afternoon. Similar to you, Lana, people got trapped on bus line or in a thunderstorm, or, Sydney today is a bit diabolical. So the recording will be sent out to everybody, along with all the information that I just said I was going to send to everyone. It'd be quite a big email, so make a big coffee and sit down and read through it, because it'll be all important stuff. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Sia, and Lana and Matt and Al for being here today. And thank you to the people who sent me apologies. All good. I know everyone else is keen to get involved. And we're kicking off. All right, look out for my email tomorrow.